Good morning students. Today's lecture is Introduction to Discrete Mathematics. So this video basically covers that for whom this subject is basically intended, means what is the target, who is the target audience, then why we have been motivated for this discrete mathematics subject, means why we study this discrete mathematics. Then we will see what is exactly discrete mathematics. We will see the difference between the discrete and the continuous, and then we will see its contents, what are the main contents, or what is the main syllabus of this discrete mathematics, and then we will see finally its real life application, very interesting applications that we normally see in our daily life. So let us see, first of all we will see who is the audience. So we can say that this is for whom? Or target audience. So we can say this discrete mathematics is basically for all those students who prepare for the various competitive exams like NET, GATE, or other competitive exams like IT officers. So this is for those who prepare for GATE, NET, or other competitive exams. This is also for if they are doing courses like MCA, BTech, BCA, MSc, etc. So this discrete mathematics is basically for students doing MCA, BTech, BCA, MSc, etc. Apart from this, for those who wants to know about discrete mathematics, means we can say anyone can learn about the discrete mathematics, because this is very important subject and it can be used in various areas. Now we will see why we study this discrete mathematics, or we can say motivation. So why we study? There are so many reasons, like it develops the mathematical thinking, it improves the problem solving ability. So many problems are there which can be solved by applying this discrete mathematics. And apart from this all, there is very interesting feature, that is, if we are computer science professional, then it helps in understanding various subjects like TOC, operating system, data structures, computer networks, etc. So we can say the first reason is that why we study this discrete mathematics. It develops mathematical thinking. Moreover, it improves the problem solving skill. It improves the problem solving skills. It helps in understanding various computer science objects like TOC, that is theory of computer science or automata theory, and operating system. In theory of computer science, we normally study about the formal languages, then it is helpful there. In operating system, as we know that scheduling is very important part of the operating system, so this is helpful there in operating system. Then data structures, that is DS. In data structures we study tree and graph, so this helps there. Then computer networks, encryption and decryption, this is the important part of computer networks, or we can say network security. So there the message is encrypted and then later on it is decrypted, and this message in the form of some strings, and these strings are nothing but they are the combination of ones and zeros. And binary math is discrete mathematics, so it plays a very important role in computer networks. And then DBMS also, like DFDs, ER diagrams, so it also helpful in understanding the DBMS, that is database management system, etc. Now we will know what is exactly discrete mathematics. What is discrete mathematics? So basically discrete means distinct, so we can say this is the study of discrete means, that is to say distinct or not connected objects. So this is the main thing, that this is the study of distinct objects. This is not the branch of mathematics, not a branch of mathematics, rather shares common. This is not the branch of mathematics, but various branch, or we can say several branches of the mathematics share a common feature, that is discrete. Mathematics, rather several branches share a common feature, that is discrete. So this is the common feature in various branches of mathematics. So that's why we study this discrete mathematics. Normally mathematics, if we talk about the mathematics, then it deals in two areas or two realms. So mathematics deals in two realms, and one is discrete, and second one is continuous. So mathematics deals in two areas, that is discrete and continuous. So now first of all we will see what is discrete or discrete objects. So discrete objects like natural numbers. Natural numbers are discrete in nature, like natural numbers for example 1, 2, 3 and so on are discrete in nature, or we can say they are not connected. Now let us consider a graph. So consider a graph. Consider a graph for y equals to x, where x belongs to natural number and y also belongs to the natural numbers, means x and y both are the natural numbers. Now for this we can draw a graph. This is x-axis, this is y-axis, x and y axis. This is natural number, so we can plot like 1, 2, 3, 4. Y is also a natural number. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can plot these dots, or these are the distinct points. These are distinct points or we can say they are not connected. So we have to see this carefully, that these all dots, they are not connected, they are having some gaps. That's why we can say they are discrete in nature, or these are the distinct point. So from here we can say these are the discrete objects. Another example of discrete objects, like digital clock. Digital clock, because in digital clock there is a sharp transition from one time to another time. So we can say the digital clock is the example of discrete, because digital clock is the example of discrete because there is a sharp transition. Like for example, we can say this is suppose 12 hours, 21 minutes, 21 seconds, and the transition is 12 hours, 21 minutes and 22 seconds. So from 21 second to 22 second, there is a sharp transition because sharp transition. That's why this is the example of discrete objects. On the other hand, now we will see the continuous objects. Continuous objects like real numbers are continuous in nature. Real numbers for example like 1.21, 3.14 etc. are continuous in nature. Now the real numbers between real numbers between 1 and 2 are like 1.0001 comma 1.001 comma 1.010 etc. So we can say between 1 and 2 there may be infinite number of numbers, real numbers we can say, because now we will see in this graph with the help of some examples. That's why we say this is continuous. So again consider the graph for y equals to x, where x belongs to a real number and y also belongs to a real number. X and y both are the real numbers. Now we can, this is the same graph. So here this is x axis, x axis. So we can draw these points like 1, 2, 3 and 4, but between 1 and 2 there may be infinite numbers. So we can draw this like this will be a continuous line, because between 1 and 2 there may be numbers like 1.001, 1.0001, 1.1, 1.2, 1.21 and so on. So this will be a continuous line. So we can say this is continuous line or this is connected, or we can say no gaps. And between two numbers like 1 and 2, infinite numbers between 1 and 2. So that's why this is continuous in nature. So we can see the example, its example, one more example, analog clock. Analog clock is a very good example. Analog clock is analog clock is the example of continuous objects, because in analog clock the hands, that is hour hand, minute hand and second hands, they move very smoothly, because all hands, that is we can say here all hands, that is hour, minute and second, move very smoothly. It moves very smoothly, that's why this is continuous. That's why this is continuous. On the other hand, in digital clock, because the transition is very sharp from this 21 to this 22, this is very sharp. That's why this is discrete and this is continuous. Now we will see what are the main contents or what is the syllabus of this discrete mathematics. So let us see the syllabus. So now we will see its contents, or the syllabus means what is the syllabus of discrete mathematics. So it basically includes, first it includes propositions. So this is propositional theory, like normally it deals with the sentences, like this is declarative sentence, it contains like tables, truth tables, etc. So first is proposition and second is set theory. It includes set theory, various kinds of sets and sets operations. Then relations. The relation is also very important part. So like equivalence relation or various kinds of relations we study in this discrete mathematics. Its relations and its associated algorithms, theorems. Then functions. Next part is functions. We study in discrete mathematics, that is functions. And then partial orders and lattices. This is also very important part of discrete mathematics. Then combinatorics. For various type of combinations we can use this combinatorics. Then abstract and linear algebra. This is also the main part of discrete mathematics, because this linear algebra can be used in various kind of applications. In this we study the group theory, groups, rings, fields, integral domains, etc. Then graph theory. In graph theory we study various kind of graphs, and this graph theory, because this is also very important, because this graph can be used in finding the shortest path. So this is also the important part of discrete mathematics. then trees like binary trees, binary search trees, etc. we study. So this is the part of discrete mathematics. Then probability, finally, to find the probability. So this is the syllabus, or we can say these are the contents of the discrete mathematics. Moreover, we can also say that Boolean algebra, this is also the part of discrete mathematics. Now we will see its applications, its real life applications, and in research it can also be used. So first one is computers run softwares and store files. We know that in computers there are softwares and so many files are there. Files are stored, or we can say the data is stored in the form of some files. So this data, this storage is in the form of some large strings, and these strings contains ones and zeros, and these ones and zeros means this is the binary mathematics, and this binary mathematics is basically discrete mathematics. So we can say computers run softwares and store files, so it can be used, or we can say it plays very important role in softwares and storing files. Then second one is scheduling problems. Various kind of scheduling, normally in our daily life we see the scheduling of doctors, scheduling of nurses, scheduling the rooms for various kind of events, scheduling the timetable of trains, etc. So these scheduling problems uses graph coloring problem. This is graph coloring problem, or combinatorial optimization, it can be used. And third application is designing password criteria. This is also very important to design the password criteria in various websites and web-based applications. This discrete mathematics can be used. Various permutation and combination we can use. Then Google Maps. Google Maps, like nowadays in our today's life, this Google Map is very popular, and it is also very important whenever we travel from one city to another. Then in those situations we need to find the shortest path. So it can be used, this discrete mathematics can be used to find the shortest routes and fastest time. Then web search, various Google search engines uses linear algebra. This linear algebra can be used. Then computer graphics uses linear algebra. It uses linear algebra for the transformation, like for scaling we can say, like for scaling, etc. So this discrete mathematics can be used in here in computer graphics. Then railway planning uses this discrete mathematics just to extend the rail lines, or for the timetable, to extend the timetable, etc. It can be used. Then the eighth application is, it can be used in mobile communication or cell phone communication. So in cell phone communication it can be used to for making efficient use of broadcast spectrum, that whatever the spectrum we have in telecommunication. For mobile phones it uses linear algebra and information theory. Then in digital image processing it uses discrete math, or uses discrete mathematics to merge images or apply filters, various kind of filters and merging files. This can be used in digital image processing. Digital image processing is a very important area of the research. Today we use like various kind of techniques we use, like neural network is one of the technique. Then vaccine development, like we can say it is also used in various kind of research. So this vaccine development is a kind of research. It uses discrete mathematics to know the structure of DNA, etc. So here normally group theory is used, or linear algebra, we can say abstract and linear algebra is used. Then use of least amount of cable in computer networks. This is the minimum weight spanning tree problem. So it can be used in computer networks to find the minimum least amount of cable. So this is minimum weight spanning tree problem. Moreover, it can also be used for in computer network, like for cryptography, encryption and decryption, it can be used. So these are some applications of the discrete mathematics and research areas. So I hope that you would be definitely benefited from this lecture, that is Introduction to Discrete Mathematics. Thank you.